is an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports.
The Braves' 14-0 victory had the complete package. Great starting pitching, supported by a solid defense that turned 5 double plays. And an offense that pounded out 23 hits, which now puts the Braves at the top of the National League in hitting. The Braves go for 7 straight next. With the road trip off to a spectacular start, the Braves try to keep their winning streak alive today as they take on the Colorado Rockies, Game 2 of a 3-game series. Hi, everybody. Pete Van Weeren along with Don Sutton welcoming you to Coors Field. A beautiful afternoon for Game 2 of the series between the Atlanta Braves and the Colorado Rockies. Of course, you're all well aware of the Braves' success story during this decade of the 90s, but one thing that hasn't happened very often, Don, during this great stretch the Braves have been on is getting off to a good start like they have this year. 12-3, a little bit unaccustomed territory for Atlanta this time of the year.
It's a great start for them, Pete. Let's contrast it to last year, where at this time of the year the Braves were 8-7. Some numbers I want you to pay particular attention to: the batting average, the home runs, and the stolen base, averaging about 4.5 runs per game. Now let's roll up to this year. There are some huge differences. The batting averages are up, home runs are down, stolen bases are up. Consequently, they're getting 5.5 runs a game to play with. I tried to look at this through pitcher's eyes. When I look at this lineup this year, I see more balance. I see more ways to do damage. I see more ways for this ball club to divide your attention.
Back with the lineups and all the action from Denver right after this.
Atlanta Braves baseball, brought to you by
Time for us to take a look at our extra strength Tylenol starting lineup. Kenny Lofton to lead it off. Michael Tucker to go bat in the 2 spot. Chipper Jones back in there today. He will hit third. The cleanup hitter, Fred McGriff. In left field, it's Ryan Klesko. He will hit 5th. Catching is Javi Lopez, the 6th place hitter. Mark Lemke again at 2nd will bat 7th in Bobby Cox's lineup. The shortstop is Jeff Blauser. He will hit 8th, and Denny Neagle will complete the batting order. For the Rockies defensively, the same lineup as last night. Larry Walker again at first. Young, White, and Castilla complete the infield. Kurt Van Waring behind the plate. And on the mound, it's a right-hander. Here's a look at Kevin Ritz. Good stuff. He put together some career numbers for himself last year and for the Colorado Rockies. This will be his 4th start. Ritz does give up a few walks. He does give up a few base runners. Consequently, he finds himself pitching out of jams a lot. 10 of the 17 leadoff men he's faced have reached base on him. He's allowed 31 base runners in only 15 innings. There are some of the highlights of last year for him. And I think that he exemplified last year what the Colorado Rockies are looking for out of a starting pitcher who's going to win here in this ballpark. That is, somebody who isn't afraid to give up a couple of runs here and continue to battle. His earned run average was up a lot higher than you see in other parts, but yet he was a guy they could count on to go to the post for him. And right now, Pete, they could use a good outing out of one of their starting pitchers as we look at the umpires.
And it'll be Bob Davidson calling the balls and strikes tonight, with Eric Gregg, Brian Gorman, and Frank Foley working the bases. Beautiful afternoon here at Coors Field. Kenny Lofton, who is on fire. Another 5-hit performance last night. 14 for 20 now in his last 3 games, hitting .443 for the season. And the first pitch of the afternoon from Kevin Ritz is a strike in the inside corner. We are underway. Unbelievable numbers for the top spots in this batting order. And right away, Kenny Lofton picking right up where he left off last night. Line drive, base hit, left field, that inside-out swing that we have seen. 15 hits in his last 21 at-bats. You can't get any hotter, can you?
I don't see how, unless you played in a hotter climate. Watch how he strides out and he looks like he's committed, but he keeps enough of his weight back to be able to do what he enjoys doing with the bat, that is serve that ball to left field. All his energy and all his movement is not spent toward first. That bat is still in the hitting area.
And now Michael Tucker with a 4-game hitting streak, and 12 of his 14 RBIs have come over those last 4 games. Toward shallow center field. That's going to drop in, base hit, and here we go again. The table setters have done their job. Runners first and second, nobody out. This has been such a customary beginning to games for Atlanta with these two newcomers, Kenny Lofton and Michael Tucker, at the top of the order. And the batter will be Chipper Jones, 3 for 3 in last night's game. He has 7 hits in his last 10 trips, and his average for the year up to .373.
And for Kevin Ritz, an all too familiar story. He's thrown 3 pitches and he has 2 base runners.
The scouting report on Kevin Ritz, like so many pitchers who pitch in the major leagues and have the potential to win up here, he's fine as long as he stays ahead in the count. It's when he falls behind that he gets in trouble. Well, he's in trouble already with just 3 pitches thrown. Here's Chipper. Low and inside, ball 1.
And where their right-handed pitchers are having a lot of problem, Pete, is just what we've seen here. They just are, it's virtually impossible for them to get out left-handers. Right now, they're hitting .500 against Ritz, and they were hitting almost a like number against Jamie Wright.
Here's the 1-0 on the way, and this is low, and he's behind in the count 2-0 with Kenny Lofton down at second, Michael Tucker over at first. Braves hitting .323, a league-leading average for the National League coming in. 85 runs scored in 15 games. Almost 6 runs a game. The 2-0 on the way, and it misses low and inside, ball 3, and it's 3-0 on Chipper Jones with Fred McGriff on deck.
And I think what we were talking about in the open, scoring runs in a lot of different ways, is brought home very vividly by the fact that in the heart of the batting order, Jones, McGriff, and Klesko, they have combined for 4 home runs, only 4.
Yeah, I don't think the hitters are approaching in the middle of the order things the same way they did a year ago or 2 years ago. For that very reason. Here's the pitch on the way. And there's a ground ball to the right side. 4, 6 on the first, not in time. Chipper able to outrun the throw to first base, beat the wrap there. Kenny Lofton winds up over at third. Good takeout slide at second by Michael Tucker.
Another dimension speed gives you. You just think of it as hustling in the base hits, but that speed got him to second in time to delay Weiss just enough. So Michael Tucker, with his hustle, saved an out for the Braves.
First and third now with 1 down for Fred McGriff. .339 in the year with a couple of homers, 11 RBIs. And here's the situation. I mean, Don, the past for the Atlanta Braves very often would depend on a Fred McGriff in a situation like this, knocking one out of the ballpark, getting a 3-run bulge, which might be all you're going to get for the day. Now the Braves have realized they can score with the 8th spot in the order, with the 1 and 2 spots in the order, and then the runner at third base and 1 out. The situation here much different for Fred McGriff. Just try to put the ball in play, get that run in.
Don't ground into a double play. Right. Get the ball in the air. You know you're going to get 1, and there's a pretty good chance if you can get out of this without hitting into a double play, you'll get more than 1.
1 ball, no strikes. And that's fouled back 1-1. The infield will concede a run here. They're taking a chance and getting the double play.
I was a little surprised that they brought him in last night in the 2nd inning. It did end up costing them, but in this ballpark, 4 runs, that's nothing. So you try to save, I don't think you try to cut it off at 3, sacrificing what you might be able to do later on.
Over to first and back safely, Chipper Jones. 1 man out, runners at the corners. And the 1-1 on the way, and it's on the outside corner. Good pitch there from Kevin Ritz. Took something off that one and caught the corner with it, 1-2.
Good off-speed pitch and in a good spot. A little backdoor breaking ball. Kurt Manwaring didn't help the umpire's cause any by swatting it toward the ground, but it was a good spot. Good pitch.
Now Now the 1-2 on the way, and it's down low. 2-2 on Fred McGriff. Ryan Klesko waiting on deck. One more game in this series tomorrow afternoon. John Smoltz will face Darren Holmes coming in out of the bullpen to start for the Rockies, with Billy Swift unable to go because of a muscle pull in his right side. And the Braves head for San Francisco. Off day there Monday, night game Tuesday, day game Wednesday before coming back home. It's full, 3-2 now, McGriff. Ritz a 17-game winner last year with the Rockies. 1-1 lifetime against Atlanta with a 115 earned run average. There goes Chipper, the pitch line, left center field, and there's Fred McGriff doing his job, getting that first run of the day in. Chipper Jones advances to third. The Braves are on the board 1-0. RBI number 12 for Fred McGriff. And you can see that swing. All he intended to do there was hit that ball up the middle, try to get that runner in from third, and that he did.
I guess one of the things that goes with sitting in this chair is you get a chance to second guess every now and then, and I really second guessed that pitch selection. He threw him 4 straight breaking balls after getting ahead in the count. He showed him the one breaking ball in a perfect spot. Now with Fred McGriff, the scouting report is more and more people are pitching him in and up, but Ritz gave him 5 consecutive same speed pitches to adjust to. And the style of hitting they're doing now, putting in play, makes it easier to hit an off-speed pitch 3-2 than a good fastball.
Now Ryan Klesko at 227 for the year, still looking for his first homer. And the first one is down low, ball 1. This has been so typical of the Braves' rallies this year. 3 singles in the inning. Corner, good location there, 1-1.
And with every single and every run it scores, how much bigger does the hustle of Michael Tucker become? That would have changed this whole inning if he doesn't disrupt Weiss. That's a double play ball.
Over to first and back safely McGriff. The count now, and Ryan Klesko 2 for 5 in his career against Ritz. One of those 2 hits a homer.
After the first 2 hits, now Ritz has gone away from his power pitching, changing speeds, trying to nibble at the corners. Tough to pitch behind to this ball club.
Here's the 2-1 on the way, and there's a high fly ball deep right center field. Ryan Klesko has his first homer of the year. And the Braves have jumped on top 4-0.
Well, sooner or later you got to throw a strike, and sooner or later a guy with that much power is going to catch up to one. Pitching behind in the count is virtually devastating any place, but against the hottest hitting ball club in the National League, in the best hitting ballpark, right down Broadway, some full extension for Klesko. You got to admire it just a little, but go ahead.
All the way into the seats in right center, well over 400 feet. So 4 runs on the board here in the top half of the first inning. Braves have now scored 18 runs in this series. We're in the first inning of game 2, and here's Javi Lopez hitting .340 with a couple of homers and 9 RBIs.
And I'll bet you he starts him with a breaking ball.
1 ball, no strikes. Bobby, can I play the whole game?
yeah. Please.
How to play right side, 1
Just
ball,
1
strike.
4 at bats.
You know, when you're on the road and you're coming to the ballpark, there's always some players that like to get to the ballpark early, and they'll come over here before the bus ever leaves the hotel. Here's the 1-1. Inside 2-1. But there's a noticeable pattern here at Coors Field. When the bus leaves the hotel, it's full of almost nothing but pitchers. Hitters all want to get here early. They can't wait.
It's just the opposite now in the Astrodome.
Yes. Obviously with a home run cut there. 2-2. That home run hit by the Braves, Brian Klesko, in this inning, the 12th homer hit by the team this year. The Braves pitching staff has allowed only 2 home runs all year. Out of play, still 2-2.
And that's an amazing fact, but take it one step further. Both those home runs allowed by one guy. Last year's Cy Young winner. John Smoltz is the only guy that's given up any taters this year.
Down the right field line toward that corner. Fair or foul? It's a fair ball off the corner of the wall. Javi Lopez on his way to second, and the hit barrage continues. Still only 1 out in the inning. 4 runs are already in. Javi Lopez with his 4th double of the year.
Looked like a pretty good pitch here. I think you just have to credit Javi Lopez with some pretty good hitting. He didn't try to pull Ritz with 2 strikes, down and away fastball. Javi is one of those guys, when he realizes how strong he is, making contact should be the only thing that concerns him, because he can hit it out to any field.
Now Mark Lemke hitting .233. He was 1 for 4 last night, taking ball 1 low and inside.
And you're only human, Pete, if you're standing in the middle of the diamond and you get behind, you make some pitches. The more the hits pile up, the finer you try to become, and the more you compound your problem because you're pitching behind more.
Now the 1-0. Foul back, 1 ball, 1 strike on Lemke. Braves began last night's game with 2 runs in the first, 4 in the second, 4 in the third. They had already staked Tom Glavine to a 10-run lead. By the time he got to the bottom half of the 3rd inning, Denny Neagle already has 4 to work with. There's a strike in the count, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 offering. Just missed. 2-2.
You watch Ritz open up, you can see a little bit of why some of those breaking balls are hanging. Normally you want to start the ball down toward the plate. He's cutting under it a little bit. His elbow's dropping, so he's almost throwing like a flat frisbee type spin.
Here's the 2-2. Out of play. Still 2-2 on Lemke. We thought going into this game, we were talking about it just before we came on the air, that this might be a little more of a pitcher's ball game today, because one of the rare times that you'll see the wind blowing in from left field here at Coors Field, and blowing quite gustily, so a ball hit high in the air to left may not have the carry it normally does.
And probably the same is going to be true to center, but it's a little bit sheltered in right.
The 2-2. Down and strikes Lemke, out number 2 in the inning. And that'll bring up Jeff Blauser, the 8th man to hit here in the 1st inning. Jeff continuing his sensational start. Now at .431 for the year. A couple of home runs, 10 RBIs. He was 1 for 2 last night. Reached base 3 times, 3 different ways. A base hit, a walk, and he was hit by a pitch. Jeff has got something he would like to do once in his career that would be hysterical.
Yeah.
With an umpire. He was telling us about it last night. He says it's probably going to be near the end of his career when he's going to do this one time. And it's going to happen when he gets called out on strikes. First the 0 on the pitch. Hit foul out of play, nothing in 2. You've seen many times hitters get called out on strikes, turn around and say something to the umpire. Sometimes it gets quite vehement. Sometimes they get tossed. He said at some point in his career, he's going to turn around on a called 3rd strike and scream at the umpire, "That was the best pitch I've ever seen in my life," and see how the umpire reacts to it. Not complaining at all, but in total agreement with the plate umpire. The 0-2. Low and outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that led to some good stories about
Great
umpire
stories.
exchanges last night.
Great stories. Here's the 1-2 on the way to Blauser. He takes it down low, 2-2. Another long inning for a Colorado pitcher.
And Jamie Wright threw 30 pitches in the 1st inning last night. It looks like Kevin Ritz is going to exceed that.
This will be his 34th pitch. 2-2. Struck him out. So Ritz comes back and gets Lemke and Blauser swinging, but before settling down, the Braves strike for 4. 3 of them coming in a Ryan Klesko homer. Rockies coming up.
You come to Home Depot, you want lawn garden.
The guaranteed low price every day at the home.
Their work cut out for them as they come to bat here in the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at Don Baylor's batting order. Eric Young to lead it off. Quentin McCracken is in the 2 spot. It's Ellis Burks, the 3rd place hitter. Red Hot Larry Walker will bat cleanup. He'll be followed by Dante Bichette. Vinny Castilla to hit 6th. Kurt Van Waring 7th. Walt Weiss will bat in the 8th spot. And Kevin Ritz will complete the batting order. Braves defense. Klesko, Lofton, and Tucker make up the outfield. Jones, Blauser, Lemke, and McGriff 3rd to 1st. Javi Lopez behind the plate, and making his 4th start of the year, Denny Neagle. And Denny is looking for a good outing against the Rockies. You see his record, you see his earned run average. Let's take it a step further. He's looking for his first win here at Coors Field, and his earned run average 9.6, so he has something to prove.
And Eric Young, who brings an 11-game hitting streak into this one, leads it off here in the bottom of the first. Shows bunt, takes a strike, 0-1. Young at .333 for the year. No homers. He's driven in 4 runs. National League stolen base leader last year. Back up the middle, a 12-game hitting streak for Eric Young. And the Rockies trying to bounce right back here in the bottom half of the first inning.
It always takes a little while to adjust to Coors Field. I have always felt that in a 4-game series, if you can come in here, a 3-game series, the guy pitching the 3rd day has the advantage if his throw day is the 1st day, because you can see how it works. There is less resistance. A sinker ball pitcher is going to take a while to figure out he's not going to get as much movement, so he's got to lower his sights. And for Denny Neagle, this first inning will be an inning of trying to adjust.
Quentin McCracken getting a lot of playing time right now, and he's been a catalyst for the Rockies, who are off to a 10-4 start. Young on the run. The throw by Lopez is wide, and Blauser can't get back there in time. Stolen base for Eric Young, his 6th of the year. The Rockies, the top base-stealing team in the National League last year, and they lead the league this year.
And even if they weren't as good as they are and have as much speed, the fact that you're in this ballpark is one of the reasons that down 4 you don't take the running game out of play. It is as much a part of their arsenal as hitting the home runs.
0-1 on McCracken. The 0-1 on the way. McCracken showing bunt. 1 ball, 1 strike. McCracken getting a chance to play when Ellis Burks was out of the lineup, and he played so well that when Andres Galarraga went down, rather than playing Darnell Coles or someone like that at first base in Galarraga's absence, they moved Larry Walker in there to keep McCracken's bat in the lineup. I think he went. He did, says Eric Gregg. 1-2 to count. As a number 4 outfielder on this team last year, he hit .290 with 3 homers, 40 RBIs, and 17 steals.
Not only did he go, but he almost went all the way across the plate.
Don Baylor says this year I can't call him a number 4. He's more like a number 3.5 outfielder for me. Here's the 1-2. 2-2. Ellis Burks on deck. Tom Glavine getting the Braves off to a sensational start last night with his 2nd career shutout against the Rockies here at Coors Field. First pitcher to ever do that twice in his career. The 2-2 to McCracken is pop foul, back out of play.
You know what you have to do in Coors Field when you look at the scoreboard and you see the runs? You have to do what my dad used to call, you have to do a little figuring. You have to put up a conversion table. If you're down 4, in Houston, you're down 4. If you're down 4 here, you almost got to play it like 2 will get you even. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to manufacture 1 and get 1 back, and then figuring sooner or later they could catch up.
The 2-2 pitch on the way from Neagle. Hit foul out of play, right side. Looks like another sellout crowd here at Coors Field today. It's
Well, that'd be
the rule.
Wouldn't that be first? They have 138 consecutive shutouts here now. Yep. Last night was 138.
And this will be 139 today. A beautiful afternoon. Here's the 2-2.
On the ground towards short. Weiser on the first in time. Moving over to third. Eric Young, 1 out. And that'll bring up Ellis Burks, one of the top performers in the National League last year, but off to a slow start this year at 162. His first 4 hits of the year were all homers. He's driven in 7 runs. Was out for a week with a strained right ankle. Seven for 16 lifetime against Neagle. And there's your runner at third, Eric Young. Outside corner, 0-1.
He came into the American League. He was a good off-speed hitter, a better low ball hitter. He has made an adjustment. He has become a better fastball hitter and doesn't miss too many pitches belt high and above.
Here's the 0-1. Sharply by Chipper Jones. Base hit left field. Scoring is Eric Young. The Rockies are on the board. RBI number 8 of the season for Burks.
See, here's that adjustment. It hasn't quite been made. You don't get as much spin. That ball hung up a little bit. About belt high for Burks, and with the overspin, Chipper Jones is thinking right there, there's got to be, I don't want to get my face in front of this. And that ball was scorched.
1 out. Burks at first. Here's Larry Walker. 1 for 4 last night, hitting .472 in the year with 9 homers and 22 runs driven in. And the talk of the National League offensively this year. With the start he's off to, he's just 2 home runs shy of the record for the month of April. Still leads the league in the 3 Triple Crown categories, among others. Also leads the league in runs scored, in total bases, and slugging percentage, and extra base hits, and on-base percentage.
He has more home runs than 6 National League teams. And when you add his numbers to those of Vinny Castilla, only 1 National League team has more home runs than those 2 guys combined, and that's Montreal.
0-1 the count on Walker. Foul back to count 0-2.
Left-handers have never scared him either. Opens up as he stands in the batter's box, closes up. And he's so strong, he can fight off inside pitches. He can wait a lot longer than most because he does have the strength to fight off those pitches inside.
The 0-2 on the way. Hit foul again out of play. Still 0-2. Walker, who began his career with Montreal as a native Canadian born in British Columbia. Waits the 0-2 pitch. Blowing away 1 ball, 2 strikes. He has a goal for his career that's a bit different. He has 162 home runs in his career. The record by a Canadian player in the major leagues is 194 by Jeff Heath, who played actually with the Boston Braves back in 1948 when they were National League champions. Most of his career, though, was in the American League. That's a very reachable goal for him. He could reach it this year. And this one just looped into left center field for a base hit. Burks around second, heads for third. Walker trying for 2. The throw to second. He slides in safely. And runners are at second and third. Still only 1 out for Dante Bichette.
And see, that's what we were talking about closing up and waiting longer. He waited on a pretty good breaking ball and served it into left. And because you have to play so deep, that's a great pitch. Because you have to play so deep here at Coors Field, Lofton is there and makes the play coming in. But because you have to play so deep, Walker, knowing the ballpark, never hesitated. That's how he got the double out of it.
So they're at second and third with 1 out. Here's Bichette, held hitless last night. He's hitting right at .300 with 2 homers and 14 RBIs. Takes a strike outside corner, 0-1. He is hitting .522 lifetime against Neagle. He's 12 for 23 with 1 homer. Just off the inside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That run snapped a pretty amazing string that the Braves pitchers had put together. They had gone 30 consecutive innings without allowing an earned run. including a near impossible shutout last night at Island.
Into right center field. That's going to be in for a base hit, and 2 runs will score. Walker follows Ellis Burks across home plate. It's a 1-run game now. 4-3 RBIs, number 15 and 16 for Dante Bichette. And it looks like we're in for one of those days. They have a lot of those 15 to 14 kind of games here at Coors Field, and that may be what we're in for here today.
And Denny Nagle's struggles continue, and it's still a matter of not being able to put the ball down in the strike zone. That's a high sinker. Bichette didn't try to pull it, but the adjustment that you have to make is it is not going to move as much, so you've got to put, if you're a sinker ball pitcher, you've got to start out looking lower in the strike zone.
Plate umpire Bob Davidson heads out toward the mound now, trying to speed up things here. Bichette, the runner at first, 1 out, 3 runs in, and the batter will be Benny Castilla.
Isn't it amazing with you? You and I have watched a number of those meetings on the mound. Isn't it amazing how coincidentally it always breaks up just about the time the umpire gets out there? The timing on that is so amazing.
Well, there's Castilla off to another good start this year. 346. He has 6 homers and 14 RBIs. Snap throw to first, back safely Bichette. Castilla 2 for 3 last night.
As much as we've talked about a lot of the other hitters, Benny Castilla may be the most aggressive hitter in their lineup. Always look for something to hammer on the first pitch.
1 ball, no strikes.
Refresh my memory on that little wager he has.
Yeah, he has only walked 86 times coming into this year in 6 years, so trying to make him a little more selective. They have challenged him to walk 100 times this year. He says he can do it. Galarraga says the same thing, although Galarraga's out of the lineup right now. And so far, Castilla, 8 walks, 8 strikeouts for the year. So he's on a pace to walk about 100 times. Check again in about July.
He only have 12.
Here's the 1-1. Grounded short play down the field line to foul. And it's 1-2 on Castilla.
Well, there's a happy balance you want to make here. You don't want to take away from his aggressiveness. What you'd kind of like to do is lower the area that he is aggressive in. With Castilla, you turn it loose. If he can reach it, he's going to hack at it, and it's going to be a big swing. And coincidentally, looking at his numbers, it's amazing to me he doesn't strike out a lot, as much as a guy who is this aggressive.
1 ball, 2 strikes. He chased a pitch there and just got a piece of it. Stay alive at 1-2. But there's one of those pitches that Don Baylor wishes that Benny Castilla would take now and then. Almost struck out of the pitch.
But you could afford to take it early in the count. 1-2. That one was close enough, and I'm not sure it was out of the strike zone, but I'm not sure you're not better off trying to foul that one away.
Nagel ready for another 1-2 pitch with Bichette getting a small lead over at first. Chipper Jones going to second in time there. 2 gone.
Good pitch by Denny Nagel. Once Chipper Jones backed up right there, he kind of got himself a little off balance. You got to make sure of one, and that's what Mark Lemke was doing at second. He gave him his best first base reception down there, playing just like a first baseman.
That'll bring up Kurt Manwaring, the catcher, batting .323, no homers, 5 RBIs. Longtime Giant, went over to Houston last year and signed as a free agent during the offseason by the Rockies.
Greatly respected as a handler of pitchers and throwing out base runners.
Outside corner, 1-1. Braves leading at 4-3. We're only in the bottom of the first inning. Already 7 runs in the game. Already 9 hits in the game. Inside corner, 1-2. Be interesting to keep an eye on Manwaring's home run count this year. The most he's ever hit in a single season has been 5. But playing in this ballpark, he should maybe even double that.
Here's the 1-2. In the air, Lemke stumbling as he went back. Otherwise, he might have had a shot at it. Instead, it drops in for a base hit. I don't know what happened to Mark there. Looked like he maybe got caught on the rim of the grass that separates the outfield from the infield.
He may have also got caught up, although he's played here before, in what Michael Tucker got caught up in last night. Not being sure that that ball was going to carry his
I wonder if that hamstring may have bothered him a little bit there.
As he turned, I'm not sure he got to the edge of the grass before he started stumbling.
That could have been that hamstring tugging a little bit again. Remember, it kept him out of the lineup for a game last week. And now the 8th man to bat in the inning for the Rockies is Walt Weiss. Hitting .286, no homers, 5 RBIs. Ball 1 high.
Cubs have now tied the Mets, but they'll have to go the rest of the way without Jim Riggleman. He just got kicked out by Jeff Kellogg, bottom of the 6th inning, arguing some balls and strikes. So frustration level up a little bit.
Weiss will be checking those scores throughout the afternoon, but the Cubs trying to snap that 12-game losing streak are at New York today, and they're tied 3-3 in the top of the 7th. Long inning for Neagle, just as it was for Kevin Ritz. The 1-1. Side corner 1 and 2.
Neagle made good pitches to Manwaring, and he is adjusted now to Weiss, keeping the ball down in the strike zone.
Here's the 1-2 on the way. Tried to get him to chase one outside. Weiss laid off 2-2. With the runner going, misses inside. No throw will be made. Kurt Manwaring has a stolen base. That's his first.
Actually, what Manwaring did stealing this is he probably took the bat out of Walt Weiss's hands. He would have if I were in the middle of the diamond.
That's his first stolen base in 2 years. Ground ball third. Chipper Jones will throw across to first in time. And a long inning ends for Denny Neagle. Long inning for both starting pitchers. We've got a wild and woolly one underway. 1 inning gone. It's 4-3 Atlanta.
Atlanta Braves.
It is 4-3 Atlanta. We've only played 1 inning. And Denny Neagle, Kenny Lofton, Michael Tucker due up for the Braves against Kevin Ritz here in the top half of the 2nd. And we'll see how these pitchers respond after lengthy and difficult first innings of work. Neagle will lead it off. He's 0 for 7 on the year.
Talking to some people that have followed the Rockies, the scouts, some scouts, they say that one thing that Ritz is not doing in his first starts is not coming inside to set up any of the other pitches. You can almost take the inside half of the plate out of play.
Ball 1 to Denny Neagle. Chopper to third, fielded by Castilla. 1 out. And now Kenny Lofton again. He led off the game with a single. 6 for 7 in the series. 15 hits in his last 21 at bats. And now batting .451 for the year.
And .475 against right-handed pitching.
Nothing in 1 to count. Another inside-out swing deep to left field. Back goes Burks off the wall over his head. Down to second. Kenny Lofton. Unbelievable. Can you get any hotter than he has been? 2 for 2 in this game. 7 for 8 in this series. Almost had that ball out of the ballpark. His 3rd double of the year.
If it's up, he drives it. If it's down, he loops it. You're in left field, you move in because he loops one in front of you, and then all of a sudden, as you take those 2 steps in, he hits the base of the wall with a fastball up and away.
This is the 16th game of the year. Kenny Lofton already has 33 hits, averaging better than 2 hits a game. And now Michael Tucker.
I think this is his 9th multi-hit game.
Michael, a base hit in the first inning. He has 11 hits in his last 22 at-bats. His average up to 396 for the year. Inside corner, 0-1. See if he can continue his string of big RBI games. 12 RBIs in the last 4 games. And a run-producing opportunity here. Pop foul, third base side. This will drop into the seats. And the count 0-2 on Michael Tucker. Let's see, that double by Lofton makes him 16 for 22 for the week.
That's a baseball week?
That's a baseball week.
Which is different than a calendar week.
It's different than a calendar week. Baseball week runs Monday through Sunday. Here's the 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. I mean, usually when you're talking about somebody being 16 for 22, maybe you're talking about an NBA free throw percentage in the game. Not a hitter. That's unheard of. There he goes. The pitch is fouled back. Lofton will have to turn around and go back. Lofton now with 11 hits. In the last 3 games, the National League record for hits in 3 consecutive games is 14, so he's going to have a shot at that because he'll get 3 more at-bats in this game. Mike Benjamin, of all people, holds that record.
He had a good jump there.
Still 1-2 on Tucker.
He's good at measuring his lead and having his momentum headed toward the bag as the pitch comes home.
And he's gotten the attention of Kevin Ritz.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Now your job becomes doubly hard. You're pitching in a hitter's park with a guy that's got you worried standing at second and a guy who's red hot at the plate. What do you focus on?
The 1-2 to Tucker. Another base hit for Michael Tucker to right. Lofton is going to be held at third. Now Tucker tries for second as the throw toward the plate is cut off by Larry Walker. So there's some hustle by Michael Tucker.
And he had his mind made up to do that all along. He figured the worst thing that could happen is they're going to catch me in a rundown and Lofton is going to score. A mistake caused by Ritz focusing so much on Lofton. Now here's some good base running. He's already gone. Here comes the throw. He's halfway there. Walker can't afford to fire the ball to second. If he does, Lofton will cruise home. That is some good hustle.
So runners are at second and third now, back-to-back doubles, and the Braves have not produced a run yet. Chipper Jones, the hitter, hit into a 4-6 force play. Came around to score in the first inning. Braves already with 7 hits off Ritz. The first one low and inside, ball 1. 4 runs, 7 hits for Atlanta. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Rockies. Top half of inning 2.
I think what you also see with Michael Tucker, too, is that's good instincts. I'm not sure you can teach that.
Here's the 1-0. Up and in, ball 2, 2-0 on Chipper.
Spend the whole day talking about that play, but that does so much. It keeps you out of a double play situation. It gives you 2 runs on a base hit. And as I said before, the worst thing that could have happened was he would have been out and Lofton would have scored. That's pressure offense.
And the 3-0 pitch on the way to Chipper Jones, grounded right side, fielded by Young on the first in time. Kenny Lofton scores another run. Moving over to third, Michael Tucker. Chipper Jones drives in his 15th of the year.
And there it is. That's a 4-6-3 double play if Michael Tucker doesn't hustle the second.
those two at the top of the order who've been setting the table so terrifically all season for Atlanta. And how's this for getting hot together? The last 45 at-bats for Kenny Lofton and Michael Tucker combined 28 hits. Here's McGriff, RBI single his first time up. 5-3 Atlanta. 1-1 to count. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two outs, a runner at third. Braves up 5-3. Ritz back to the windup with that runner at third. Is 1-1 on the way to McGriff, and it's low ball 2. 2-1. Ball 3.
With Lofton at third, he probably would pitch from the stretch. Lofton for a threat to come firing down the lines. But with Tucker, and it's probably a wise move. It would seem like a wise move control-wise to pitch from the windup.
Here's the 3-1. And he loses in ball 4. That's the first walk issued by Ritz. 52 pitches thrown already by Kevin Ritz. And Frank Funk out to the mound to try to settle him down. Ryan Klesko, a 3-run homer in the first inning. And he's up with 2 men on here in the second.
Remember our scouting report, he still hasn't come inside on anybody to set up the outside. Here's the home run, full extension, up and out over the plate. Klesko, one of those left-handed hitters that can hit a high fastball as far as he can hit a low fastball. That was right in his wheel.
In his career, that was his 7th homer on Colorado pitching.
It was his second off Ritz, too.
Yeah, he's now 3 for 6 with 2 career homers against Kevin Ritz, who tries to work out a further trouble here. First and third with 2 outs. Ooh, he had a home run cut at that pitch.
But there's the first time I can remember he powered one of these hitters inside. He ran that right in on his hand.
The count 0-1. The 0-1 on the way is a little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
See what Manwaring is reminding him to do? He get on top of the ball, throw it downward. Don't cut under it. That breaking ball just hung up there. Good job by this catcher. He's going to get to do a lot of that in this ballpark. Remind him to keep it down.
That's a very important position on this team in Colorado. They had Joe Girardi here for the first few years. Very good handler of pitchers. And that may be the priority.
Well, what you need is a catcher who graduated from a very well-known college with a degree in sports psychology, as well as being an all-star catcher.
Now the 1-1. 2 ball, 2 strikes.
Twice inside the Klesko. And it was almost like Ryan has been surprised to see that pitch in there, so they got the same scouting report that we did, that he is reluctant to come inside on hitters.
Now the 1-2 pitch on the way, and there's a line drive right field coming on. Bichette can't get it, bounces under his glove all the way to the wall. Tucker scores. McGriff heading for third. They're going to hold him there. RBI double for Ryan Klesko. He's having a big afternoon, his 4th RBI of the day, and the Braves now lead it 6-3.
Wants to go down and away, but instead goes down and down the middle. And Bichette caught a little bit in between there. A little bit of an ole. That's where it looked like he might have been better off trying to cut it off and play it on a hop, but it was a break for Klesko, a break for the Braves, and another run.
And Javi Lopez steps in. He doubled his first time up. 6-3 Atlanta. Ball one. In this series, we're in the top half of the second inning in game 2. The Braves have 31 hits off Rockies pitching. Little pop-up into shallow right. Bichette waits for this one. And the inning comes to an end for Atlanta. But 2 more runs on the board. Ryan Klesko already with 4 RBIs on the day. 6-3 Atlanta.
You've done the math.
Baseball club is prohibited.
Well, here we go. Bottom of the second. Braves leading at 6-3. They've out hit the Rockies 8-5. And pitcher Kevin Ritz will lead off for Colorado. He's 0 for 4 on the year. Right off the fist, 0-1. You can see the different approach you have to take in managing your pitching staff in Coors Field. He's given up 6 runs and 8 hits in the first 2 innings, yet he's hitting for himself here. Early in games, instead of looking at how many runs you've allowed, you almost have to look at how many runs you're behind. You treat it like you're behind 3-0 right now.
That's right. And
otherwise, you start going to your bullpen in the second inning every day.
how valuable will that pinch hitter be in the 7th, 8th,
Right.
and 9th rather than now?
Here's the 1-2. Outside 2-2. By the way, after the game last night, Rockies made a roster move. They sent Kurt Leskatic back to AAA and called up another right-hander, Jeff McCurry. That'll be out of play. Still 2-2. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Neagle has his first strikeout. That's out number 1 here in the bottom of the second.
Good pitch, good adjustment, and what you want to see out of a pitcher after your club has just given you a 3-run lead. Come out, throw some strikes, and try to get the offense back into that dugout and let him hack some more.
Eric Young, a first inning single, extending his hitting streak to 12 straight games, the longest in the league this year. Down in the count, 0-1.
We talk so much about the offense of this ballpark, but I bet you visiting ball clubs play better defense here. You know why? Because they want to get the inning over with so they can hit some more.
That would follow Mark Lemke's theory. The reason you see the leadoff hitter after making a great play so often is that you're standing out there, you know you're leading off the next inning, and you've got a little more incentive to make a play. But you might not ordinarily make the 0-2. Reach for one, is going to get a base hit out of it. That was not a strike, folks, and Eric Young is 2 for 2.
Absolutely nothing Denny Neagle could have done about this except thrown it in the Rockies dugout. It was almost all the way over in the left-handed batter's box. Javi Lopez wants it down and away. That's down and way away. That's 6 or 8 inches off the strike zone. But Young just leans out there and a la Kenny Lofton serves that into right center field.
Hit number 6 off Neagle. It'll bring up Quentin McCracken, who grounded out to short his first time up. This is the Braves' forte from last night. 6-4-3, 5 double plays last night. They get their first one of the afternoon. It ends the inning in a very quick inning of work for Denny Neagle. We've played 2. It's 6-3 Atlanta.
Young wishes they'd put a little of that out around second base. On the double play, watch the slide here. Hard infield, he slides past it, and what he got for it was some torn pants and a strawberry on his right knee.
And it was Mark Lemke in the middle of that double play again, and he leads off here in the top of the third, a strikeout victim his first time up. Line, left center field, hit number 9 for Atlanta. A leadoff single for Lemke, and Jeff Blauser will step in.
I don't think the Braves have missed a pitch up and out over the plate yet.
Blauser struck out his first time up. Takes a breaking ball strike, 0-1. Lemke takes the turn at second. He'll hold on there. And the Braves setting the table one more time. Runners first and second. They now have 10 hits off Kevin Ritz. And the batter will be Denny Neagle, who grounded out his first time up there in a bunt situation here. You look at the start the Braves are off to, 12-3 on the year. After losing their first 2, they've won 12 of their last 13. Doesn't compare to 82 when they won their first 13 games of the year, but it's the way the Braves have been winning that's so different here. In 82, when the Braves had that 13-game winning streak out of the chute, they were winning a lot of games coming from behind, late one-run decisions, 5-4, 4-3 kind of games. This Braves club, especially lately, has just been pounding the opposition.
And when you're getting this many runs and that much offense, if you're the manager, you can work on your mechanics as a pitcher. Bobby working on holding runners on.
Neagle got the bunt side, but then after showing bunt, swinging away, he had the entire infield wide open as they had the wheel play on. And if he had just made contact, that ball would have gotten through.
This starting staff here is a bunch of good athletes who handle the bat fairly well, and with their work that they put in with Jim Beecham and Clarence Jones, they earn the right to have this play put on. Bobby Cox appreciates their efforts and their ability and lets them do this every now and then.
Neagle shows bunt again. Look at it. A little message there, perhaps?
Yes, sir. Bet the farm on it. That's a message from him for his infielder. You want to swing away, swing away. Where did Manwaring want it? Up and in. That's where he got it.
1 ball, 1 strike.
That was a message, and it was not sent in code.
Missed it, and the count goes to 1-2. Nobody out. Blauser at first. Lemke at second.
If you're going to throw a high neck inner, that's the spot to throw it to. That's not going to hurt anybody, but the message was delivered. And you gain the respect of your teammates who play on the infield.
Upstairs, 2-2. Alive. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braves are now 2 games up on Florida, who let one get away last night. Their bullpen, Rob Nin in particular, being touched up in the bottom half of the 9th inning with the Giants. The Giants now a game up on the Rockies and the Dodgers in the West. They are 11-3, off to almost as good a start as the Braves. That's all for Neagle. 3rd strikeout of the game for Kevin Ritz. And now here comes Kenny Lofton again. 2 for 2 again today. He has singled, he has doubled, he has scored 2 more runs.
How would you defense Kenny Lofton?
Well, you got to play him toward left field.
I think I'd give him the middle of the infield and cheat toward the hole with your shortstop. Bring the left fielder in. If he hits it over your head, it's a double anyway. You're not going to do anything about that. Take the blooper away from him. Take the hole away from him. Same defense a lot of National League clubs used to use against Wade, American League clubs against Wade.
Grounds one left side. Backhand to final Weiss. Goes to second. They only get the one out. Moving over to third is Lemke. Lofton becomes the runner at first. 6-4 in the force play. 2 down. And a moral victory for Rockies fans, getting Kenny Lofton.
Takes a shot to that side, but Weiss had cheated a step over. Gets in front of it. You want to make sure of one. He does. And the fake here is to try to get Lemke to round the bag at third.
So they're at the corners now with Lemke at third, Lofton at first, and Michael Tucker, who has singled and doubled in the game and has scored 1 run with a 2-out RBI opportunity. There goes Lofton. The pitch is high. The throw by Manwaring is late, and Kenny Lofton is stolen second. His 8th stolen base of the year.
Gets a good jump, but he doesn't need that good of a jump. He can even sneak a peek. Manwaring had to take a look toward third. That may have cost him just enough to make that closer.
1 ball, no strikes on Tucker. Big swing and an off-speed pitch, 1-1. Center field. Burks calling for it out there. And Ritz gets out of it this time. Stranding runners at second and third. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 6-3 Atlanta.
Now, and
he's off against Denny Neagle. Braves leading at 6-3. A ball, no strikes on Burks. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Outside corner, it's 1-2.
Well, you take the heart of this lineup. They have enjoyed their life here at Coors Field.
And they're missing one cog in that group. Andres Galarraga has a broken bone in his left hand. Neagle records his second strikeout. Look at the scouting report and just worked it a little in reverse. He likes the ball up. Put it way up.
And that's called pitching him bad to his power. If he wants it up, let's go up and in. A little bit above where he wants it, a little bit further inside, not allowing to extend the arm.
1 down. Here's Larry Walker, who doubled his first time up. Now hitting .481 for the year. 1 ball, no strikes.
Doubled on a breaking ball, and Neagle is starting him off with fastball. See how much less effort Neagle seems to be using now when he wants to pop the ball downstairs? That's struggling to do it.
That'll be out of play in the count 2-1. Side of the infield, shortstop Jeff Blauser. Play 2 in a row, retired by Neagle here in the third. And then bring up Bichette, who singled in 2 runs in the first inning. When you were going over those scores, Don, a very interesting matchup going on this weekend. It starts today. The Cardinals and the Padres playing a doubleheader in Honolulu.
You know, right off the top of somebody's head, they might think, well, wow, what a great trip that would be. But they had to take a 13-hour flight,
Right.
5 hours change in time zone.
Doubleheader today.
Doubleheader today. Play tomorrow and then fly back. Hawaii, I think, was it the left-handed pitcher, Tony Fossa, summed it up. He said, it's a great place to go on a vacation, but this is a tough way to work.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Yeah, they won't have time for many luau's.
No. I don't think they'll take the sunset cruise.
I think it's still available for the Don Ho Show. 2-1 on Bichette.
Front row.
Here's the 2-1. Outside corner, 2-2.
Speaking of Hawaii, about now they're turning on the TV set. Coeli in the tavern there.
And our friends at Kapalua also.
Yeah, the only place where they can watch Braves baseball on the island of Lanai.
Here's the 2-2. Drill just foul on the left field line. Still 2-2 on Bichette. Had to have reconstructive surgery on his left knee when the season was over.
One of the few guys you'll see as successful as he is and with as much power as he has, who virtually hits flat-footed. You won't see him stride out. He'll just keep his weight. If he does anything, he'll pick that front foot up and set it right back down.
2 balls, 2 strikes. In the air, right center field's got some carry to it, but Kenny Lofton has it tracked in a 1-2-3 inning for Denny Neagle. We've completed 3 here at Coors Field. Neagle seems to be settling down. Braves lead it 6-3.
Francesco Lafabula.
Give it today's Aflac trivia question. Who is the only active player to have won a league batting title, a home run title, and an RBI title? Not in the same year. We'll have the answer for you when we come back to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Right now, the Braves trying to add to a 6-3 lead, and Chipper Jones leads it off in the 4th for Don Sutton.
All right, Pete, thank you. Chipper Jones, Fred McGriff, and Ryan Klesko. Chipper, first couple of times up, got it into fielder's choice, then grounded to second. Twice he has hit the ball, hit the second baseman. 6-10 for the Braves, 3-6 for the Rockies. 1-1.
We're talking about that Aflac trivia question. We've got Larry Walker leading the league in those 3 categories this year. It has been 60 years since a National Leaguer won the Triple Crown. Joe Medwick in 1937. It's been 30 years since an American Leaguer did it.
Why do you think that is? That it's so hard to accomplish all 3 now? Relief pitching, probably. Specialization.
And I think a lot of your home run hitters
3-1
don't hit for that high an average
anymore.
You got guys that hit 280, hit 40 or 50 homers. And the guys that are hitting 350 and 360 and winning batting titles are guys like Tony Gwynn. Just put the ball in play.
Should be a hitter's pitch for Chipper Jones, instead way up out of the strike zone. And for Ritz, his second walk issued. And he'll face McGriff, who's been on twice. Fred has singled and scored, picked up an RBI, and he's also walked. His average now approaching 350. Slightly overcast, but a beautiful day here in Denver. A little more wind than we were used to seeing, and then Pete pointed it out to you early. Blowing in is now shifted to right field, so anything up in the air, if it didn't carry enough to right field, is going to carry even further. There's strike one to McGriff.
A little more favorable hitter's win than we had starting the game.
The flags headed toward the right field seats. He might have caught McGriff kind of holding his bat out on the plate after that. What he was doing was asking Bob Davidson, was that a call strike or did I swing at him? And it helps him define in his mind where the strike zone is. Outside, and it's 1-1. I think if there's one thing you would work with Kevin Ritz on, if you watch him from the stretch, watch how much his body will head out toward the plate before he tries to tilt back and throw it. It's hard to tilt yourself up to throw downward after your momentum has already slid toward home plate. Usually if you're going to make a move to tilt the front half of the body up to throw downhill, you do it immediately and then transfer your weight toward the plate. But his upper body moves toward the plate, then he tries to do it. See, there it goes. And he misses low, 2-1. A hit and run count if you want to do it, but I would venture to say in the lineup, Fred McGriff is probably the guy that Bobby Cox does this the least with. Hit and run, that is. That's a strike, and it's 2-2.
And right now, Chipper Jones playing with a groin injury that is not fully healed. Maybe a little reluctant to run him right now.
6-3 Braves, top of the fourth inning. Another display of firepower at Coors Field. Down the left field line, back into the crowd, it's still 2-2. Ritz came into this ball game with lefties 16 out of 32 against them. They have continued that. Lofton with 2 hits, Tucker with 2 hits, McGriff 1, and Klesko 2. So now they're hitting close to 600 against them. That'll run the count full, 3-2. See how they play it with Chipper Jones. He's going. Payoff pitch fouled away by McGriff. We were so caught up in the show that Kenny Lofton put on last night, and rightly so, that the show that Fred McGriff had was somewhat overlooked. He was 4 for 6 with 4 RBIs. Again, Jones on the move, call strike 3. And it's a stolen base for Chipper Jones. That's 5 steals for Chipper Jones. And for Kevin Ritz, his 4th strikeout.
It's an area Chipper has vowed he will improve upon this year. He'd like to be able to steal 30 bases. Well, that was a borderline call. Went against McGriff for call strike 3. The throw off target by Manwaring, who has not thrown with the usual efficiency yet this year. 2 stolen bases against him today. He's now only 2 out of 13 gunning down runners. He was over 40% last year.
And here's the power man of the hour. A double, a homer, and 4 RBIs. Ryan Klesko chases the breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Ryan berating himself a little bit for chasing that. He came into this ball game hitting below 225. He's already jumped the average up about 35 points. They play him to pull infield and the outfield. A lot of room right up the middle. Well, let's see. After he hit the home run, he immediately went to Bobby Cox. And what did you say? He wanted to know if he could get 4 at bats.
Wanted to make sure he's going to play all night today.
I wonder if he went back over after the double. Good breaking ball from Rick. Best of the day, and it's 1-2. Manwaring, an interesting style of catcher. You'll see a lot of catchers who will move to where they want the ball, throw the mitt up, and frame the target. But watching Manwaring, he calls the pitch and then really doesn't throw you a set target up. Moves late to the area that he wants it. See, the mitt is still down. And here he goes. Got him. Best pitching sequence of the day for Kevin Ritz, and now he has back-to-back strikeouts, getting McGriff and Klesko.
Got 5 strikeouts in the day, so he's made some good pitches. That was a great pitch. Down and away. Ahead in the count 1-2.
So he'll try to keep the Braves off the scoreboard again here in the 4th inning, but he's got to get out Javi Lopez, who's 1 out of 2, a double, and a fly to right. Starts him with the breaking ball, 1-0. One of the new additions to Coors Field is up in right field above the bullpens. They have a board which gives you the pitch and the velocity. That was an 81-mile-an-hour slider. Ditto, and it's 1-1. Slider, 81 miles an hour. I think fans get a kick out of that in some of the parks we see. Houston has a great setup there. They'll track the hole at bat for you. That one misses inside, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. They use a camera from behind home plate. They'll track the hole at bat, where the pitch was, the velocity, and what happens on it. A little more entertainment for the fans at the ballpark. Way outside, and it's 3-1. Lopez is double, only the 2nd hit in his career against Kevin Ritz.
Some pitchers don't like that. Roger Clemens makes him turn it off in Toronto when he pitches. He doesn't want that up on the board.
He doesn't want opposition to see it, probably. On the ground, backhanded by Weiss. He's got a long throw. Dug out by Walker. Good play on both ends. That saved a run for the Rockies. Weiss to Walker puts a lid on the 4th. Braves come away empty. Here's another look.
Washington, former Niner. He'll like this one.
With the 26th selection in the 1st round, the San Francisco 49ers have selected quarterback Jim Druckenmiller from Virginia Tech. Carolina's on the clock.
A different type of quarterback. I mean, look, the long face, the height, he's more of a Jim Kelly type than a movable Joe Montana and an obviously movable Steve Young.
Well, Chris, he bench presses.
The tablets you're always taking for heartburn. Now to
That's allowed him to gain tremendous leadership ability. Everybody rallies around him. He's got that big hand. He can really throw the football. Powerful arm. I think, as we mentioned, at the Senior Bowl, he showed he can take a snap from center, drop back 5 to 7 steps, and throw the football. He's a confident kid. He's a guy who I thought got better late in his career over the last 2 seasons. Did not have a great supporting cast. So you said 54% completion percentage. That would have been 64 if his receivers would have caught the football. So I think you're looking at a guy who did not have the supporting cast of a Plummer or a Barnes, but has tremendous physical ability at 6'5", 230, and this kid has a gun.
He really does.
League batting title, a home run title, and an RBI title. When he's here in the ballpark today, it's Andres Galarraga. He was the home run and RBI king last year. 47 homers, 150 RBIs. Won the batting title in '93 when he hit 370. 1 year after hitting 243 for the Cardinals, being released by them. But Don Baylor saw something he liked about Galarraga then and signed him on as a free agent over here.
Don Baylor was his batting coach for the Cardinals and wanted him here. Galarraga can pinch hit, and they're trying to figure out if he could accomplish as much staying off the DL as he would on. Vinny Castilla to lead it off for the Rockies. First pitch swinging, sends it out of play to our right. A souvenir, 0-1. Castilla, Manwaring, and Weiss. Braves 4 in the first, 2 in the second, have drawn blanks in the 3rd and the 4th. The Rockies, all their scoring coming in the bottom of the 1st inning. 2 RBIs for Bichette and an RBI for Burks. On the ground, Lemke's up to the task. There's out number 1. 5 in a row set down by Denny Neagle. And he'll face Kurt Manwaring, who got a single his first inning. Off to a good start batting average-wise. He is a career .245 hitter. The best he ever put on the board for San Francisco was 275, and I wonder if not so coincidentally, it came on a year in which he played in his largest number of games. He was in 130 ball games. And I'm sure Don Baylor is going to pencil his name in an equal number this year. Strike 2 from Denny Neagle.
Well, the Rockies carry 12 pitchers and only 2 catchers. They don't carry 3 catchers like some clubs do with that extra pitcher that they carry. Manwaring and Jeff Reed are only catchers, so Manwaring is going to get a lot of playing time.
This time he'll hang a U-turn back to the dugout. That's 6 in a row set down by Neagle. That's his 3rd strikeout. So Neagle has made the adjustment and settled in quite well for the Braves. Here's Walt Weiss.
Been some trade rumors about him here in Colorado this week. The Texas Rangers looking for a shortstop. And they've had a scout following the Rockies the last couple of series. The Rockies have that youngster, Nathan Perez, in AAA. They feel is about ready to move in and take over.
They have a couple of good young infielders down at AAA. The other one being Craig Counsell.
Did you recognize that face in the front row of the scouts?
I used to see him in the Braves dugout.
Yes, you did. Russ Nixon, scouting for San Diego. Good to see Russ again.
Always good to see him. Good man. 2-1. Still got his horse farm down in Georgia, doesn't he? But I think, isn't he...
I think they're trying to peddle that.
Working his way out to Las Vegas. Good pitch from Neagle. That's 2-2. On the ground, tricky hop for Blauser. Twice he has thrown out his counterpart, and Neagle has himself his consecutive 1-2-3 inning. 7 in a row set down, 4 in the books. It's 6-3 Braves.
Atlanta Braves.
Before we start the 5th inning, here's our Olympic State on deck look ahead. Coming up tomorrow, Braves and the Rockies. John Smoltz against Darren Holmes at 3 Eastern. Then Tuesday night, Braves and the Giants. Greg Maddux against William Van Landingham at 10 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday afternoon, 3:30 Eastern time. Braves and Giants again. Tom Glavine against Kirk Reeder.
Here we're in the top of the 5th inning. It is 6-3 Braves. Mark Lemke to lead it off. Blauser and Neagle to follow. And the bad news continues for the Cubs. 6-3 that final. The Mets win it. 6 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors for the Mets. 3 runs, 7 hits, and an error for the Cubs. Mulholland started it. Came out in the 6th inning, trailing 3-0. Turk Wendell came on. Bob Patterson, Bottenfield, Scott Service. Mark Clark, another fine performance for the Mets. Boy, I like him. Dave Clark had a home run off of Mark Clark.
0-13. A double hitter.
3-0 to Lemke. Cubs were tied going to the bottom of the 7th inning. At the knees, 3-1. That's about 4 good outings consecutively for Terry Mulholland. 3-2. Ritz walked Jones to lead off the 4th inning, then set down McGriff, Klesko, and Lopez. Lemke drops one into right field. His 2nd hit of the day. He is now 2 out of 3. And his average continues to climb. And here's Jeff Blauser. Blauser has struck out in singles.
A lot of pitches for this stage in the game. Nobody out in the 5th inning.
One of the ways ways you do damage to a pitcher's ego and to the opposition is to get the leadoff man on every inning, and that's 4 out of 5 that the Braves have gotten the leadoff man, gotten it started with the leadoff man getting on. Blauser hasn't had real success against Ritz. Only 2 out of 10. But the way Blauser is starting it off here in 97, you might throw some of those matchups out the window. 0-2. Most of the time, unless a pitcher just dominates a hitter, or a hitter just dominates a pitcher, those are just trends anyway. You know, you might have gone 0-6 and then 4 out of your last 5 comes out to be 4 out of 11, but the trend is you're hitting him well lately. That's headed for the corner and foul.
Jeff now has 23 hits this season. It's April 19th. He had 27 hits April and May combined last year.
So we were showing you in the open what a difference a year makes. Well, he is one that certainly has taken that to heart. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cloud cover starting to move in here in Denver. Before we got to the park today, not a cloud in the sky and mountains off in the background. Beautiful day. This is the kind of time of the year here, though, where you could start out 70 degrees and see some snowflakes tomorrow morning, could you?
Oh, very easily.
Lemke with a conservative lead. To right field. Bichette will make the catch. No advance by Lemke. Blauser hit it well. That's about 130 years they've had a man standing there, so there's out number 1. And here's Denny Neagle. Neagle taking a long look down at Bobby Dews. Pretty good chance they will ask him to try to move Mark Lemke in the scoring position for the red-hot Kenny Lofton. Neagle last year one of the best in the league, laying down sacrifice bunts. Swinging and takes it inside. Six runs, 11 hits, an errorless ball for the Braves. 3 runs, 6 hits, an errorless ball for the Rockies. Here's the bunt. And a good one. Walker will make the tag. The sacrifice works. Lemke moves up 90 feet. And Lofton will bat with 2 gone. In a game of interest to both the Rockies and the Braves, Florida has taken a 2-0 lead in San Francisco in the 3rd inning. You know, Simpson will get you up to date on all the scores when the Delta scoreboard comes along a little bit later.
A couple of good young pitchers facing each other in that one. Tony Saunders for Florida and Sean Estes for the Giants.
Yeah, Saunders is a surprise to make that starting staff this spring.
Made the jump from Double-A. Beat out a couple of more experienced guys in Helling and Hutton to win that 5th spot for the Marlins.
They said they just wanted a little variety to throw in between some hard-throwing, slider-type pitchers. He has a good changeup, doesn't he?
Haven't seen a pitch.
Scotty report read on him says he changes speeds well. He pitches much like an Neagle or a Glavine. Lofton 2 out of 3 with a steal. 2 runs scored. Upstairs 1-0. There's some of those numbers you were talking about earlier, Pete.
Look at the runs scored. 14 runs scored in 5 games.
Well, let's see. Cloning is here, and if you're looking to clone a leadoff man, there's your prototype.
You know, those are the kind of numbers you sometimes will look back on some superstar's high school career, and they'll say 1 year he hit 690. All these numbers. That's what Kenny Lofton's done this week. He's having one of those unstoppable weeks.
Hammered to right field. How are you going to defense him? I don't know. That's extra bases. It's also an RBI. It is also a triple. And the Braves lead jumps to 7-4.
Well, after seeing all those hits to left field off the bat of Kenny Lofton this week, you're almost looking for him to hit the ball that way, but Ritz coming inside, Lofton showing him with a pitch that comes in there, he can do this with it. Drive it right down into the right field corner for an RBI triple. He now has a single, a double, a triple in this game. He now has 17 hits in his last 24 at-bats.
I just think when he hits, you've got to bring in the nickel back. You've got to use your third down defense. That's the only way you're going to stop him. Here's Michael Tucker. He has a pair of hits himself. He may have 3. Hammered, but Bichette's got it. Hit it right on the button. One of the hardest balls hit today, but nothing to show. The Braves do get one. They get one on 2 hits. Kenny Lofton triples him home. Halfway home, it's 7-3 Braves.
Back there in the upper deck in the booth, as Kevin Ritz hits for himself and lines one to right, but right at Michael Tucker. He's given up 7 runs and 12 hits through 4 innings, or through 5 innings, I should say, for Ritz, but still hitting for himself. That bullpen needs some rest.
I'll say this for Ritz. He's had an awful day pitching, but he's been a pro about it. He's gone out and done the best he can do. He's not looking over, crying for help. He's suffering through it.
Meanwhile, Denny Neagle has settled down. He's retired 8 in a row, dating back to Eric Young's last hit in the 2nd inning. Good breaking ball. .23 hits last night, 12 more already today for Atlanta. Braves now first in hitting in the National League. The Rockies second. That's hit hard into center. Lofton got a great jump, and on the run, can't get it. That'll go to the wall, and Eric Young's got his 3rd hit of the day. He's going to try for 3, and he's going to be safe. He smoked that ball to straightaway center. Had 2 hits last night.
I think that ball fooled Kenny just a little bit. Watch. He hit the daylights out of it, and Lofton, at the last minute, the ball took off on him, and his angle was perhaps too abrupt rather than drifting back.
Well, it takes a few games to play here in the outfield to learn what happens in the way the ball carries, and he just got a test right there. Quentin McCracken, the hitter, with 1 out. The runner at 3rd. He is grounded out twice. Once a double play. McGriff and Jones in at the corners. 0-1. The Rockies have 7 hits, 3 by Eric Young. Short. That'll get the run home. Tough play for Blauser. Didn't get him. Fred thought he was out. He's lobbing the ball back across the diamond. An RBI hit for Quentin McCracken. 7-4.
It was a bang-bang play. Let's see if Eric had it right. Oh, he's out by a half step.
Yeah. See if that comes back to haunt Neagle. Should have been an out, 2 outs in the inning, but a fast runner at first. 5th RBI for McCracken. 2. Might not matter. There's one. Double play. Nice turn by Lemke. How many double plays is that for the Braves in this series? 8. Boy, are they big in Coors Field. But the Rockies get a run on 2 hits. Nobody left. We've played 5, 7-4 Braves.
Take aim at...
Before we go to the 6th inning, let me interrupt here with the Budweiser game summary. There it is, Klesko's home run. They said it went 431. They lied. That went better than that.
It might be about 430, 440 to the spot where it landed. But if you project that about where it would have come down, it was a mighty blast. Chipper Jones, 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. He has driven in a run with a ground out. Takes the ball from Kevin Ritz. Chipper 7 for his last 12. A couple of good signs today for Chipper in that groin injury. One, that he was able to avoid a double play on a ground ball he hit in the 1st inning, and then stole the base in the 4th. That's foul. Shade him to left center. That surprises me with the Rockies' defensive alignment for him.
I guess we mentioned that the Mets beat the Cubs again, didn't we? Somebody did? Oh,
13. Counting.
Jim Riggleman got ejected from that game in the 7th inning. The frustration, obviously, wearing on him.
Terry Mulholland's been pitching pretty good baseball for the Cubs, but they can't play very good defense behind him. Another error by the Cubs today with Mulholland on the mound. Breaking ball misses. Full count again to Chipper. Jerry DiPoto, a right-hander for the Rockies, beginning to loosen up. Ritz has pitched into the 6th inning, and they desperately needed that. On the ground to Walker. He handles it without any problem. He's looked pretty good over there. He made a great play on a throw from deep short to save a run a couple of innings ago. One out for Fred McGriff, who's 1 for 2. He has driven in his 12th run of the year today and scored a run. He is 10 for his last 20. Struck out his last time up on a pitch. It looked like it was about 6 inches inside. Good breaking ball. Another one. And a little dribbler and a tough play for Ritz. He's going to make it himself. One unassisted. 2 down for Klesko. He clobbered that home run in the 1st inning, ripped a double in the 2nd, and then Ritz gave him nothing but off-speed pitches in the 4th inning and struck him out. And he put on a show in batting practice today, too. That may have been a prelude to all this. He was peppering that 2nd level of seats in right field with balls.
If you had a long ball hitting contest, though, I don't know who you would say would hit it further, he or Javi Lopez.
Big swing, 1-1. He had thrown 80 in the 3rd inning, so he settled down a little bit. But with Darren Holmes forced into action in the rotation tomorrow against John Smoltz, and with their bullpen used up last night, 3 innings from Munoz, 2 from Burke, 2 from Leskanic, they needed some innings out of their starter today. 2-1 pitch. jammed him a little bit. Eric Young has it. And an easy inning for Kevin Ritz. 1, 2, 3 go the Braves. That's the first time all day he's retired the side in order. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 7-4 Atlanta.
The theater in New York.
Loud crowd here at Coors Field as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. A beautiful day for baseball again in Denver. Braves leading their Rockies 7-4. Part of the order up. Cleanup hitter Larry Walker, Dante Bichette, and then Vinny Castilla up against Denny Neagle. Coming into play today, Burks, Walker, Bichette, and Castilla were a combined average of .402 against Neagle with 5 home runs. Only 3 hits among them today, though. And all 3 of those were in the first inning. Walker doubled in the first, popped out in the third. That's out of play. The 0-1 pitch. High in the air to left field. Klesko down with the shades. And has it. 1 away. It's kind of surprising today when I was reading some things about Dante Bichette. As tough and out as he has struggled against left-handed pitchers this year. Coming in 3 for 16, but he's 1 for 2 today against Denny Neagle.
Dale Murphy used to have times in his career when he would just be red hot, and then a left-hander would go out there and he'd struggle.
A tough play for Neagle. Bare hands and gets him. 2 down.
He threw Fred a little bit of a change of pace there. Fred reached for it twice. That could have been disastrous. First, I think he thought he was going to tag him, and he didn't do that. Sammy.
Whoa. Trying to back up a little bit. Castilla aboard on a fielder's choice, and he has grounded out 0 for 2. Good changeup to start him. 0-1. Denny, an excellent fastball hitter. Has very strong hands, wrists, and forearms. Doesn't take a big swing and doesn't have to. One and one. Braves play him straight away and deep. 2-1. Kurt Manwaring would be next. See the conditions they had to play in San Francisco last
No, you were telling me about that. A little wet by the bay, huh?
They played in rain all night. Puddles everywhere. Giants off to a great start. He walked him. A 2-out walk to Castilla, the first walk issued by Neagle today.
Give him some credit too. You wouldn't have given a nickel for his chances after the way he pitched in the first. He settled down and done all right.
He gave up 3 runs on 5 hits and left 2 on. Manwaring had one of those hits in the first inning. He struck out in the 4th. Neagle has worked 5 2/3 innings. And has scattered 8 hits. Leads 7-4.
He scattered 5 of those hits in the first.
Off-speed pitch, another one off the end of the bat. He worked 5 2/3 against the Reds to pick up his first win on the 14th in that 15-5 blowout. There's the line today. 17 innings and 19 hits in his first 3 starts, but all 3 of those starts were Braves wins. pitch. Roll to third. Chipper has to charge it. Throw on the run, but gets him, and the inning comes to an end for Neagle. He gives up a walk, but strands a runner, and we've played 6 at Coors Field. The Braves still lead by 3. It's 7-4.
Dear Thompsons.
7-4. The Braves are on top here at Coors Field as we go to the 7th. A new pitcher for Colorado. Right-hander Jerry Dipoto is going to take over for Kevin Ritz. And Skip, as much as Ritz got banged around in the first couple of innings, I think you hit it on the head a minute ago, and you said he hung in there and gave Don Baylor exactly what he needed, and that was some innings.
Yeah, I'm sure he wishes he would have pitched a lot better than he did, but he did the best that he could do, and he didn't moan and groan and ask out and all that stuff, so you got to sort of tip your hat to him, I think. There'll be other days, and he's a better pitcher than he showed today. He went 6 innings, 12 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and a home run. So Jerry Dipoto comes on. Came up in the Cleveland organization. Then worked for the Mets. He came over here in exchange for Armando Reynoso, the former Brave. Javi Lopez will lead it off. Before he does, reminder, you can get all the newest Turner Field merchandise available exclusively at the home of Braves merchandise, the Braves Clubhouse stores at CNN Center and North Point Mall, and through the Braves Clubhouse Collection catalog. They've got the wave going here as Javi Lopez leads off the 7th. Dipoto, like most relief pitchers, pitches off the stretch hat all the time. And Javi skies it to center field. Duke University's Quentin McCracken makes the play, 1 out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here's Mark Lemke. Lemke 2 out of 3. He singled and scored.
I'm sure a shudder went through Dipoto when he left the friendly confines of Shea Stadium.
Yes.
To go to Coors Field.
Strike call of the outside corner.
It's a great organization and a great city, but worlds apart in terms of hitter friendly.
And the 0-1 pitch. Swung and missed. It's 0-2. Dipoto looking good. Well, he rode over here with Denny Neagle today, and that's what he was saying. Is I've never pitched well here. I've let this place psych me out. You can't do that. And since the first inning, when maybe it psyched him out a little again, he has been terrific. A ball and 2 strikes. Same 2 teams tomorrow. John Smoltz, Darren Holmes. We'll have it right at 3 o'clock Eastern Time here on the Superstation. Lemmer stays alive. The game starts at 3:05 Eastern Time. That should make the Budweiser game summary about 4:40. One and 2, the count.
Got to like that matchup if you're the Braves, since Holmes is being forced into the start with the injuries to Swift and Thompson.
Lemmer fouls another one away. Almost picked off a cameraman down the right field side.
But it seems like every time you think of that, every time you think, well, this is almost a slam dunk in terms of advantage for one team or another, it always goes the other way.
I wonder if unconsciously or subconsciously guys ease up. Not on purpose, but just, well, this is going to be easy. There's not that much difference in the level of ability up here. A swinging bunt by Lemmer to stay alive. (7-4) Atlanta, that's our score. The Braves have left 7 runners aboard in the game. And the Rockies have left 3. High pop. Who wants it on the infield? Walt Weiss calls for it. He's got it for the 2nd out.
the middle infielders here have to play almost like the fourth outfielder. With everybody else having to play so deep, they've really got to range out a long way on pop-ups out behind the infield.
And it looks like Weiss is the guy that's designated to go get as many as he can get. Jeff Blauser, the batter, 1 out of 3. Two out, nobody aboard. Denny Neagle on deck. Jeff takes a strike outside edge. David Justice hit a home run today, as Cleveland won. We'll have all the scores for him. Half inning or so. 1-1 the count. After the game here tomorrow, the Braves fly on to San Francisco, off Monday. A 2-game series, a lot of those this year. We come home and play 3 with the Padres, then 2 with the Dodgers, and then we go on a 2-day road trip. A night game in Cincinnati and a day game the next day. Interleague play has caused much of that, because you don't play your interleague opponents as many times. Jeff had a good cut, but he fouled it back, and it's still 1-2.
I'm anxious to see Synergy Field, old Riverfront. They say they've spruced that up a little bit. Some changes.
It could have used it. It was getting a little down in the month.
I think they've added the jerseys of the retired numbers, Fred Hutchinson and Johnny Bench, to the outfield wall. Maybe a few more notices about some of their history and success. It needed that.
Yeah, and that franchise history is a big part of it. 2-2. What is a Synergy?
I don't know.
Must be a company of some sort.
I've heard like 3Com. I don't know what that means either.
Oh, I do. Lennon, Trotsky, and Khrushchev. But Synergy, they got me. The 2-2 pitch. Low and outside. Full count. But we'll find out. We'll do our homework Monday.
I have a real good idea about Coors Field. I've got pretty good knowledge of that.
I've already planned to ask that Synergy Field question at Lefty O'Doul's about 6 o'clock Monday night. I'm sure I'll get an answer. 3-2 pitch. It hit him. No, I wasn't throwing at him. He was trying to run a fastball in on his hand. Blauser gets hit again.
That looked like that got him on the back of the left shoulder. A glancing blow. Let's see. Yep. Hopefully that one didn't sting too much, but Jeff turned the right way to get out of the way. Second time in 2 games he's been hit here.
And Denny Neagle will be the batter, which means even should he fail, the Braves get to start with Dr. Destructo, Kenny Lofton in the 8th. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
And they're getting a left-hander ready in the bullpen, but that hasn't mattered either.
Well, that means he'll hit a double to left center. We all know that. Bruce Ruffin begins to throw. He's normally their closer, but then he tried to yank one right out of here, but with notable lack of success. 1-1 the count. One and 2 the count. A base hit into left center. Jeff will stop at second. So Lofton hits with 2-0, and all this happens with 2 out. The pitcher gets a hit. And Kenny Lofton, the batter, he's 3 out of 4, a single, a double, a triple, an RBI, 2 runs scored. Yesterday, 5 out of 6, a homer, 3 singles, 4 runs scored, and 1 driven in. He's driven in 1 today. He's been amazing.
Well, and this puts Don Baylor in a bit of a predicament because the pitcher's spot is due up second in the bottom of the 7th. He had planned on Dipoto breezing through this inning, pinch hitting for him, and then bringing the left-hander to face all the lefties coming up in the top of the next inning. That's changed. And now he's going to leave Dipoto in there to work to Lofton.
And I'm sure the fact that Lofton has handled left-handers so well is a part of his decision. 2 on, 2 out. Now, after a long consultation, here he comes.
Well, he's going to make a double switch, I'll bet, so he doesn't have to pinch hit for Ruffin. Manwaring made the last out, and he might make a double switch with the catcher.
He hasn't signaled yet, but you know he's going to make a move. And now the sign is made, and Don Baylor has picked up the phone and made the Bell South call to the bullpen.
I know just about every garage in town. I guess I ought to know them all. More professionals use Napa.
We're in the top of the 7th inning. Braves still on top 7-4. They got 2 on and 2 out. And indeed, the Rockies are going to make a double switch. Coming out of the bullpen to do the catching will be Jeff Reed. He'll bat in the 9 spot. Batting in the 7 spot where Kurt Manwaring was will be Bruce Ruffin. And he'll be brought in to pitch to Kenny Lofton, who is 3 for 4 again today. 12 hits in his last 3 games. A couple of home runs included. Today, a single, a double, and a triple. He's also been aboard on a fielder's choice and a stolen base. In the first inning, a single, slapped one to left field to start things, scored a run. In the second inning, almost hit a home run. He's homered twice in his last 2 games. This one just missed right at the base of the wall in left field. And then in the 5th, with right field wide open down the line, he hooks one into the corner, and he was already at second base by the time Dante Bichette got to the ball. So he's a home run away from hitting for the cycle.
I don't see any reason why he shouldn't do that.
29 hits for Lofton in his last 47 at-bats. That's pretty good.
Ruffin completes his warm-up tosses. He's out of Lubbock, Texas, makes his home now in Austin. Last year was 7-5 here, had an earned run average of 4, which pitching in this park is not bad at all. And he also had 24 saves. He's also been with Philadelphia in his major league career and Milwaukee. And out of the University of Texas, where he pitched with Roger Clemens and Calvin Schiraldi.
He had some arm tenderness late in spring training that concerned the Rockies, but he's bounced back pretty good.
A 33-year-old left-hander, and he faces Kenny Lofton with 2 on and 2 out. And the Braves on top, 7-4. That's a nice lead, but in this part, it's not time to break out the party hats yet. A strike to Lofton, 0-1.
Started with a fastball. That surprises me a little bit because his best pitch is a pretty good curve.
Started to go, held up. It's 1-1. They have never faced one another, Lofton and Ruffin, at least in a regular major league game, perhaps in spring training somewhere along the line.
They don't have Bichette as far over in the right center as he was when Lofton tripled his last at bat.
Two and one. Michael Tucker is scheduled to hit next. No further activity in the bullpen for the Rockies. The 2-1, low, 3 balls and a strike. So Ruffin doesn't make it easier on himself. He gets behind a red-hot hitter.
Obviously, the count working heavily in Kenny's favor, but it makes it increasingly difficult for the defense. Something that he can handle to go to the left field side. A lot of room over there.
On the outside corner, 3-2. He was looking for a pitch, didn't get what he was looking for, so he took it. Now the runners go with a 3-2 pitch. Blauser from second, Neagle from first. Did he go? He's walking toward first, but he's out, and the inning is over. And Lofton says, why don't you ask the third base umpire for help? But Bob Davidson says no. And the inning comes to a close. I thought he swung two, to be honest with you. One hit. No runs, no errors, two left. We go to the bottom half of the seventh inning. Braves still lead at 7-4. We go to the bottom half of the seventh inning. Well, the Colorado Buffaloes are about 30 miles away up in Boulder. I don't know if those are buffalo or bison. How do you tell the difference, Joe?
Same thing. They're both shaggy.
Well, yeah, but there must be a difference. Are they? Oh, well, let's not worry about it.
Not enough to worry about.
Walt White leads it off in the bottom half of the seventh. You see his numbers. He is grounded to third, grounded to short. 7-4 Atlanta. Neagle has pitched very well since the first. Must have been high. 1 ball, no strikes. Neagle thought he had a strike.
Well, Weiss ducked that one a little bit.
Mike Bilecki begins to tune up in the Atlanta bullpen. 2-0. Not much doubt about that one. A walk would not be a good way to start things here.
No, but a good idea by Weiss to go up there until he throws a strike. Just taking.
There's a strike at the knees. 2-1. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the seventh. 7-4 Atlanta. 2-2 now as Neagle battles back.
I think his better pitch today has been his breaking ball instead of his changeup. He's kept the right-handers off the plate a little bit.
Missed inside. He's run it full. A good idea, but a little too far in. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That was a good pitch. Right at the target.
Now back live. Strike 3 called at the knee. Weiss didn't like that one. Thought it was low. And he has a parting shot for Bob Davidson. 1 out.
Strikeout number 4 for Neagle. Certainly had the plate and too close to take.
So now they got themselves, with their double switch, into a position where they have a left-hand hitting catcher batting against the left-hander. Let's see how it works out. Bilecki ready if needed in the Atlanta bullpen. Good cut by Reed. He fouls it away. 0-1.
He's played very well for Colorado. 2 home runs and 24 at-bats. Manwaring had hurt himself, missed a few games, hurt his hand, and Reed filled in favorably. Gives him some good hacks off the bench.
There's a drive to deep right field. If it's fair, it is hooking. It is foul. But he hit the daylights out of that. It's 0-2. Only a noisy strike.
Fred McGriff was almost had his chin perched on Eric Gregg's right shoulder, taking the same view Eric was of that fly ball to make sure that it was not called incorrectly. That was fun. Yeah, just that much.
0-2 the count. He's a beauty.
He really is.
Got him. Down and in. Strikeout number 5 for Neagle. 2 out here. Top of the order. Eric Young, the batter. He's 3 out of 3. He has scored 2 runs. He's stolen a base. 2 singles and a triple. Neagle goes to work. Downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes.
Quentin McCracken's done a good job for these guys, but personally, I'm glad to see him batting with 2 outs. Get him out of the way and not leading off an inning.
There's a strike over the inside corner. Young not so sure about that. A 1-1 the count. Chopper to second. Should be a very easy inning for Neagle, and it is. 1, 2, 3. Nothing doing. 7 innings have gone by, and the Braves lead it by 3 at Coors Field.
8th inning, and time to take a look at the Delta scoreboard. These finals: Pittsburgh over Cincinnati. They win it in the 9th, 6-5, 6-3. New York beat the Cubs. Cubbies are 0-13. Florida in the 6th, leading the Giants. They blew one in the 9th last night. Over in the American League, they were postponed for the 2nd day in a row at Fenway Park. Milwaukee lost to Cleveland 11-6. David Justice with his 4th home run. Oakland over Detroit 7-1. Home runs by McGuire and Baroa. Everything else under the lights later.
Okay, Joe Simpson, thank you very much. Michael Tucker, 2 out of 4 runs scored, and he leads off here against Bruce Ruffin. And he doesn't catch up with that one, 0-1.
I think Boston and Baltimore must be playing in North Dakota somewhere.
Oh, it's been rough out there.
Those poor people really fighting it.
Ground ball, but Young goes left, gloves it. Throws him out, 1 away. Braves had 6 runs and 8 hits in the first inning. The first 2 innings. Since then, they've got 1 run on 5 hits, and we're in the 8th. Chipper Jones turns around and bats from the right side. Little low, 1 ball, no strikes.
We talked last night about how the Rockies have cut down on their walk skip and how that has helped them cut down on the runs allowed here.
Right in there.
They've played 1 fewer game than the Braves, but through the 7th inning this year, they had walked 40 batters as a staff. The Braves had walked 47.
Our pitchers pride themselves on their control. Chipper hits it hard but foul. Count goes to 1-2. Swing made him look bad. Second strikeout for Ruffin, 2nd out of the inning. Here's Fred McGriff, 1 out of 3 with a walk.
Here's that breaking ball I was talking about with Bruce Ruffin. It's a dandy. And Chipper couldn't stop his swing.
Fred has done well against this guy. 6 out of 19, a .319 average.
One guy that Don Baylor sure won't miss off the Braves lineup, and that was David Justice.
Oh boy, he killed his games. Well hit down the left field line. That's trouble if it's fair, but it's going to tail off out. In fact, David, just in honor of the fact we're playing, the Rockies hit a home run today against Milwaukee. 1-1 the count. Two out, nobody aboard. That ball is smoked into center, but McCracken is there, and the inning is over. 1-2-3, nothing doing in the 8th for Atlanta. We go to the bottom half with your score. Braves 7, Rockies 4.
Atlanta Braves baseball, brought to you by the Home Depot, where
and those poor Rocky fans out there. Andrew Jones checks into the game to play left field. And Quentin McCracken, who is 1 for 3, an RBI single, leads it off in the 8th. Former football and baseball star at Duke University. Ran up the bunt, took it high, 1 ball, no strikes. Steve Reed, and I guess Munoz. McCurry, the new guy, in the bullpen for Colorado. Nobody throwing at the moment for Atlanta. Mike Bilecki has been up. 1-1 the count to the center field. I thought that was a left-hander out there for Colorado, but it isn't. 1-1 the count. 2 balls and a strike. McCracken, Burks, and Walker here. So a tough inning. Alan Embry is now joining Bilecki in the Atlanta bullpen. The 2-1 pitch. Strike called over the outside corner.
Yeah, about that ride over from the hotel this morning, Denny said, you know, I used to get my socks knocked off in Montreal and couldn't seem to beat those guys up there, and finally I decided to heck with it. Just go out and pitch, do the best I could, and sure enough, I was able to get that turned around.
The 2-2 pitch, here it is. Side, he's running full, 3-2.
After getting through those first inning troubles today, he's pitched very good baseball, his best of the year.
The payoff pitch to McCracken. Ground ball to short, should be easy. Blauser fields. By a step, he can really run. 1 out. That's 105 pitches in the game for Neagle. That's not bad.
Especially after he'd thrown 44 or so in the first 2 innings.
Well, he was there for the taking, it looked like, but he really settled down. Ellis Burks is singled, driving in a run later scoring, struck out and hit into a double play. Oh, and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. This keeps up, we'll have to get Denny limousine service all year on the road. Look at that. Two and 0. He's behind a dangerous hitter here, but he's got a 3-run lead in the 8th.
If he hits his way aboard with all that thunder coming up behind him, that's one thing, but don't walk him.
The 2-0 popped him up foul out of play. 2-1. Javi gave it a look, but had no chance. It's in the second deck. Two balls and a strike. One out, nobody on. Blauser gets another chance. 2 out. Everything since Walker flied to left to start the 6th has been either a ground ball or a strikeout for Neagle. It's almost as if, as he's begun to tire a little bit, his stuff has gotten better.
He's got a little more movement on his fastball. Early in the game, he was trying to throw what I thought maybe too many straight changeups. He went to his breaking ball, and that was effective. And his fastball's been a better pitch for him, too, because of the movement.
Walker 1 for 3, a double. And he's lost 8 points on his average as a result.
That'll teach him.
High fly ball, pretty well hit left field, but Andrew Jones is there. Now comes in near the line and just barely makes the catch. That ball fooled him. But he makes the play, and the inning is over. No hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 8, your score. Braves 7, Rockies 4. We go to the 9th inning. Jeff McCurry is on to pitch. Kid just called up from Colorado Springs. Kirk Leskanic went the other way. And the big right-hander takes his warm-up tosses. And Andrew Jones will face him. Earlier this year made 1 appearance for the Rockies, fanning a man in 1 inning of work April 5th in Montreal. They got him from Detroit through the Rule 5 draft last December and spent the majority of spring training in the minor league camp. Are you surprised, as I am, that Detroit would lose a pitcher?
I am, especially one that had this kind of ability. He actually was brought to the big leagues by the Rockies in order to give Leskanic a little rest for that sore shoulder. They activated Leskanic, sent McCurry back to Colorado Springs, and Leskanic still has not been able to return to his form, and that's why they want Curtis to go back to AAA, build up his arm strength, get back to normal, and then I'm sure they'll see him back here pretty soon. But if he's a Rule 5 draft and was sent back to AAA, in order for him to go back to AAA even for a little while, you have to offer him back to his original club, and apparently Detroit didn't want him back.
Andrew leads it off. By the way, speaking of young players, all you SEC football fans are going to remember this name. Andrew faces the young right-hander and courts one into deep center field. Back goes McCracken to the wall, at the wall. He hit it into the Rocky Mountains out there in center, a solo homer. And the Braves' lead is 8-4. Wow, that's a pretty good poke there.
First pitch.
It's 4:15 where it went out.
Hit it in the river out there. Fastball, great extension, right over the 4:15 mark.
Javi takes one outside. Starter said a guy, one of the best prospects they tell me in all of baseball is the former quarterback at the University of Tennessee, Todd Helton. Last year, he hit .332 in 93 games at New Haven. Then he hit .352 in 21 games at Colorado Springs and struck out in all that only 49 times. So they liked him an awful lot. Strike over the inside corner. By the way, that home run by Andrew Jones, his first career regular season homer against a right-hander. His 5 previous home runs were against lefties in regular season play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Been a productive spot in the order today. 4 RBIs from Klesko with a home run and a double, and now a home run and an RBI for Andrew. Got extra run in the 9th. Kind of like that, too.
Yes, you got to. A little tapper toward third. Castilla in fast, can't make the play. They'll probably give him a hit. Let's see. It is a hit.
Bobby needed that, too. Had a base hit his first time up, a double. But now 2 for 5 on the day. A swinging bunt with Castilla playing deep. Almost no chance for Vinny. Even if he had fielded that cleanly, he was going to have a tough play.
38 hits in the 2 games here. In the last 3 games, 50 hits. Last 4 games, 59 hits. Last 5 games, 78 hits. Rounder foul.
How about this on the runs? Last 7 games, including today, Braves have outscored their opponents 55-15.
So you gotta like that too, don't you know?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in double figures in RBIs and 2 others with 9.
That's what you love, up and down the order, guys that are driving in runs.
Well, let's face it, the key has been those guys at the top of the order that are on base all the time. They're scoring runs, other people are driving them in.
Another key has been the good play by Jeff Blauser offensively from the lower end of the order.
He started in Houston.
Yeah, and he hasn't let up. 2 balls and a strike. And he's on deck here as Lemke battles McCurry. Short left center. Weiss going out. Burks coming in. Burks calls for this one and makes the play. For the first out of the inning, here's Blauser. McCurry, born in Tokyo, Japan, went to TCU. Had a cup of coffee with the Pirates back in '95. strike call to Blauser. In fact, he pitched in 55 games for the Pirates, 1-4, a 5.02 earned run average. The 0-1. Right off his thumbs. Into the second deck, 0-2.
Speaking of the Pirates, with their win today over the Reds in the 9th inning, they're now at 500, 7-7. Gene Lamont's the manager over there, and he is a good manager.
They're doing it the way they have to do it, with young kids. 1-2, the count to Blauser. Looking ahead to the bottom half of the 9th inning. The Rockies send Bichette, Castilla, and a pinch hitter to the plate. Pinch hitter for the pitcher. Well, they do no pulls. Pitch swung, double play ball, maybe. 4, 6, 3, and the inning is over. He hit it hard, but right at him. And the Rockies turn it over. The Braves get the insurance run on the Andrew Jones homer. One of 2 hits in the inning, no errors, nobody left. Bottom half of the 9th inning. Braves lead at 8-4.
Turning the Romanian team around. Bella checks the scores, and the Chinese.
Inning, Mark Wohler's on to finish this one up, or to try to. Denny Neagle, 8 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 5 strikeouts. With all the off days coming up, they want to get Wohler some work here. He can work today. If needed work tomorrow, then he's got Monday off. Probably one of the 2 games in San Francisco you wouldn't have to work, and then Thursday off, so getting him work is a good idea.
I'm wondering if Bobby might give Eddie Perez a start behind the plate tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon also, since he got skipped over with Maddox when Greg lost his start a couple of days ago.
Could be. Denny Neagle, 8 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 5 strikeouts. I think I just told you that. But now I've told you twice.
But he pitched so well, you ought to tell him twice. After the rough first inning, he pitched great.
First inning out of there, he went 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. So he was in complete control after the first. Here we go. Bichette leads it off. He is worn out. Wohler's in.
I was just going to say, this is a good matchup right here.
12 at-bats, 6 hits. But he's one of very few that have done that to Mark Wohler. The game will start as soon as the bad music concludes here. And thankfully, that has just happened. People in baseball don't understand that the people that want to listen to music go to concerts or stay home and turn on the... Do they call them stereos anymore? The pitch. Fastball outside. 1 ball and a strike.
Give me the old-fashioned organ at the ballpark. Can't beat it.
1-0 the count to Bichette. Sort of pulls at your heartstrings because that's been such a part of baseball for so many years. 98 miles an hour on that little darling for Wohlers. 1-1 the count. Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. He got that one up to 99, but not in the zone. Bichette waits. 3-1. Boy, the walk's the last thing you want with a 4-run lead in the 9th, especially in this ballpark.
Bichette has had success against Mark Wohlers because he's so strong and so quick with his bat. He can get the head of the bat through the zone, even on inside pitches, as good as anybody.
3-1. Right in there, full count, 3-2. John Smoltz and Darren Holmes tomorrow. We'll have it for you at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Bichette asked for time as Wohlers is about to go to work. That is granted. Payoff pitch. Fouled it back. We'll have it to do all over again. Boy, he is quick. That was a pretty good heater. He was right on it.
Has lost some weight in his rehab to get his knee back in shape. Tell me he's bench pressing about 300 pounds.
A bad start to the ninth, but Wohlers issues a walk.
That's what happened to Rob Nen last night in San Francisco for the Marlins. He walked the first two batters of the ninth inning. Wound up giving up a bases-loaded double to Glenn Allen Hill and a single to Jeff Kent. Lost the game. Walked, killed him.
And Jeff Kent is off to some start, getting big hits. Castilla, good first ball hitter.
That must have been some Spanish rally music for Vinny to get him going.
Runner at first, nobody out. The stretch. Outside, he's behind another hitter. One ball, no strikes.
Got a 4-run lead. The worst that Castilla can do is hit a 2-run homer.
Mark again ready. High drive, right center field. That might be just what he did. That's what he did. It's 8-6. Number 7 for Castilla. He's got 16 runs driven in. We're not through here yet.
Started him with a breaking ball. Then he's sitting on that fastball, launched it right at the base of the bullpen wall out behind the Braves bullpen bench.
Now John Vanderwall will come out and hit. Pinch hitter supreme. Left-hand hitter. Used to be at Baltimore. Rather at Montreal. Castilla hit the daylights out of that. Mike Bilecki up again in the Atlanta bullpen. Vanderwall had a good cut. Fouled it back. You know, one thing we should point out when you talk about those miles per hour on the fastball, I'm sure that's accurate. But it's movement. If you don't have movement, the speed is nice, but the ball's got to move for you, too. Maybe that's been Mark's problem. Nowhere near 1-1.
That and pitch count. So if you're behind in the count, doesn't matter how hard you throw to major league hitters.
That's right.
They tune it up a little bit, and they've got the count in their favor.
1-1 the count here on Vanderwall. Walt Weiss scheduled next. Outside, 2-1. Bilecki continues to throw out there. He's ready. He's been up a long time. Two balls and a strike. Line drive, base hit, tying run comes to the plate. Still nobody out. A rocket shot into right field. It's an 8-6 game. Runner at first, nobody out. Now Bobby Cox has a decision to make. Leo Mazzoni's going to go to the mound, so it would appear they're going to stay with Wohlers at least for now.
That was a pretty good pitch. Fastball down at the knees, but Vanderwall tuned up a little bit after getting the count in his favor and able to go down and get it.
That home run by Andrew Jones in the top half of the inning just looked like a little icing on the cake. It looks a little bigger than that now. Leo giving him a little Dutch uncle action, it looks like out there.
Whatever it takes. Was not a save situation. I'm sure Mark came in ready to pitch. But so far, he has not recorded an out.
Still nobody out here.
Weiss, 3 for 7 lifetime against Mark.
That doesn't surprise you too much because he just makes contact and slaps it around. He hit into a couple of double plays last night. That would be sweet right here. There's a strike, a good start. Jeff Reed, the power-hitting catcher, is next.
These guys have all had pretty smart at-bats so far, Skip. Even Bichette was taking a pitch to see if Wohlers could throw a strike 3-1. He knew he needed to get on base to get the inning started.
0-2. Reed, who hits next, is 1 for 4 against Wohlers. That hit a homer.
And now suddenly, with the count 0-2, Mark has his choice of things he can do, and it forces Weiss to expand his strike zone a little bit. Let's see if he can put him away.
Nope, not yet. 1-2. Good fans here in Colorado. Most of them stayed around. Some of the folks have headed for the exits, but I think they've seen their team play enough to know that, as someone once said, it isn't over till it's over. The 1-2 pitch. Here it is. Ready to go. Held up. 2-2.
That looked like a split finger pitch, and not all that bad a pitch, but pretty good eye by Walt Weiss. Didn't offer at it.
This is the pitch Wohlers wants to make something happen on right here. He takes a little time to get himself straightened away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Let's see what they go to here.
Looks like a heater, doesn't it? Maybe the splitter again. Hot shot, whatever it was, he hit the daylights out of it. Foul pass first.
That's generally a sign for a changeup, but Mark rarely takes anything off his fastball.
Looks like they need to get together. They don't.
It's either a fastball slider or a split finger pitch.
Still 2-2. Good news now, the wind has sort of shifted again. As anything, it's blowing in.
Yeah, that maybe makes it more impressive where Vinny Castilla hit that home run.
He mashed it. The 2-2. Full count.
He aimed that one, Skip.
Yep.
They set the target up outside. That's what they talked about in the meeting on the mound, and he flat out aimed that one. Slowed his arm speed down, changed his delivery a little bit.
That was the first home run a Braves relief pitcher's given up this year. Wohlers wants a new baseball. Now Don Baylor has a decision. Do you stay out of the double play by running? I don't think I would, because if you strike him out and throw him out, then you got to get another base runner to have a chance.
Right.
But we shall see how he plays it. 3-2 pitch. Staying. Walking. Tying runs are aboard. And that's going to do it for Mark Wohlers. This is not his day. Bobby Cox is on his way to the mound. And now Mike Bilecki comes in an awful spot, or Alan Embry perhaps, comes in a tough spot. And we'll be back to see how all this shakes down right after this.
Sky Rat, this is Dirty Bird. I've spotted a gold mine with a freshly washed beauty. Dirty Bird, rock and roll!
What's the old cliche? Sometimes
A hammer and nails. Jan Snyder tells us.
Call 1-800-598-5000. Only from Sprint Business.
0.2 runners on base, his responsibility. And there are 2 of them. Walks 2, home runs 1. So Alan Embry comes on and faces the left-hand hitting Jeff Reed. Looks like Terrell Wade has got nothing throwing in the bullpen now.
Well, Alan Embry had great numbers last year against left-handed batters. Hopefully that will continue. Reed, I was just going to say Reed had an at-bat against Denny Neagle earlier and struck out. But he's 2 for 6 on the year, so he has battled him pretty good.
whatever happens there, what you hoped would not happen has happened, and that is that the top of their order is going to come to the plate again. It's the lower end, really, that's done the damage. And you never know, but you just wonder if he gets Bichette out to start the inning, he might have gotten him 1, 2, 3. It's just like it's sort of snowball.
Embry allowing a 167 average against him so far this year by left-handed hitters. But he needs a ground ball.
Wouldn't that be nice? There's nobody out in the inning. Embry out of Vancouver, Washington, makes his home in the Atlanta area now. Here we go. Will they bunt? Yes. Pretty good bunt. Only play will be the first. Lemke covers there, and the runners are in scoring position. 1-4 sacrifice.
Excellent job by Reed. Braves didn't put any pressure on him from the corners, so he had lots of room.
And Bobby wants to make another change, and Mike Bilecki will get the call. The crowd boos, but he's trying to win himself a ball game. So Embry did his job, a third of an inning at all zeros. We'll be back after this.
Sunday night on the Superstation.
Runners at second and third, 1 out. Braves on top by 2, but a base hit ties things up. And Young has had a big day. He's 3 out of 4.
He's been the toughest out today.
And I've got really bad news for you. He's 2 out of 2, Young is, against Mike Bilecki.
First base is open, but by the old book, you don't walk the potential winning run in order to set up a force play. So they're going to, I'm sure, work to Young. He is fast. So he puts a little pressure on the defense. The run at third doesn't mean anything. The runner at second does.
So here's Young. The infield will play back, of course. Willing to concede a run for an out.
Except at the corners. Fred and Chipper playing in. In fact, Chipper playing way in.
Chipper is fearful of the bunt. Here we go. Bilecki to Young. Fine, outside. 1 ball, no strikes. These are those agonizing kind of games when you just sort of feel them sliding away from you after you've done so many good things. What a cut he had, but he fouled it off, and he took a shot at right field.
Neagle got him to chase a ball. Looked like it was out of the zone his last time up. Then he was ahead in the count. Worked it looked like an off-speed pitch or something up and away, and Young went after it. He went after that pitch, and it looked like it was outside.
The 1-1 pitch. He's ahead in the count, 1-2. Don't have to throw him a strike now. Not yet.
That's exactly right. If he was hacking at those pitches away, then take one a little bit farther outside and see if he goes after it.
McCracken is next, then Ellis Burks. The 1-2 pitch. He did just that, but Young laid off, and it's 2-2.
See a breaking ball. He's got the luxury. 2-2.
Fly ball, pretty well hit, but foul and out of play down the right side. You smell some rain coming, can't you? 2-2 the count.
That wind shifted earlier and started blowing in.
Michael Tucker is camped on the right field line.
He sure is. Lofton moving more that way, too.
The 2-2 pitch. Here it is. Swung, fly ball, right field, had him played perfectly. Here's the catch, a run scores, other runner goes to third. It's a one-run game. Sacrifice fly, RBI. But that outfield defense was perfect.
Fastball away, and he stayed on and went down and got it. But Michael Tucker barely had to move to make that catch. Something else smart there. He made his throw back to the infield and kind of short hopped Mark Lemke. And just in case that ball bounced away from Mark, Blauser came running up. He was the relay man to third. He came running up to back up Lemke in case Weiss tried to score all the way from second.
So it gets down to this. McCracken against Bilecki. He's faced him once. Mike got him out. Low and inside. One ball, no strikes.
Boy, Javi, you got to make sure that ball doesn't get by you, too. Anything in the dirt, you can't afford to just backhand. You got to shift your weight and make sure you keep the ball in front of you.
Coming into the day, McCracken hitting .400 against left-hand pitching. Less than that against the right-hand. Line drive, ball game over. Way to fool him, Mike. A rocket shot off the bat of McCracken. But right at Jeff Blauser, who went to the deck to make sure he held on, and the Braves avoid a big scare. Denny Neagle gets a win, and Atlanta tiptoes out of here with an 8-7 victory.
And in no small part thanks to Kenny Lofton, number 7 there, who had another big day. 3 hits, a single, a double, a triple, a stolen base, and an RBI. He scored twice. Congratulations to Kenny Lofton, our AutoZone player of the game. And we'll be back to try to visit with Kenny right after this.
Perhaps the biggest reason is Kenny Lofton. Another great day. Kenny, you've taken to this ballpark big time.
It's an interesting park. It looks kind of like the Jake a little bit, but the ball kind of carries out here pretty good.
Yeah, you had a ball hit, I know, to you in center field by Young today that got over your head. Are you surprised at how the ball jumps here?
Yeah, I am. I'm very surprised, but just seeing how the ball jumps, you got to watch yourself out there in the outfield, and now I know.
We haven't had the privilege to see you play that much, except you drove us nuts in the World Series when you were with Cleveland. Have you ever been this hot before? Can't imagine anybody being much hotter.
I don't know. I'm just trying to put the ball in play. I'm not even thinking about that too much.
You've been going inside out a lot, hitting a lot of balls hard to left field. Is that by design, or are you just trying to concentrate on staying on the ball, make sure you pick it up good?
I'm trying to, like I said, I'm just make sure I'm staying on the ball. And when you end up hitting the ball at the opposite field, you have to stay on it longer like that.
I know you haven't been in Atlanta that much because of the schedule, but are you beginning to like our city as much as most of us do?
It's fun. I love it. I'm having a good time out in Atlanta.
Well, we're having a good time watching you play.
Thanks.
Okay, Kenny, thanks for your time. Congratulations again. For being our guest, Kenny Lofton will receive an Advantix 3600 camera from Kodak. And back with the totals and the highlights right after this.
If you really want to get into baseball, then get Baseball Weekly. You'll get the most timely Major League team notes with up-to-date player stats and box scores, expert advice for fantasy players to win your league, an insider's view of big league baseball, minor league reports on top Major League prospects, a clubhouse page for younger fans, and much more. Subscribe now and get our 1997 Baseball Weekly.
Matched their longest winning streak of last season. That's 7 straight. They've won 13 of their last 14, and they hang on today 8-7 over the Rockies. 8 runs, 15 hits. No errors, 9 left on. The Rockies stranded 4. Neagle now 2-0. Kevin Ritz falls to 1-3. Mike Bilecki had 2 saves last year for the Braves. The last one came in September against Montreal. He picks up his first one this year. Got 2 outs when the Braves desperately needed it. 50,036 here at Coors Field today in a game that took 3 hours and 6 minutes.
And by the way, Glenn Allen Hill has just hit a 2-run double in the bottom of the 8th, and San Francisco leads Florida 3-2. The Braves could find themselves up by 3 when the day is played is over. Our next telecast tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. We conclude the series with the Rockies and try to sweep it. Coming up next is WCW. Simpson, Pete Van Weer, and Don Sutton, our TBS crew. Skip Carey from Coors Field. See you tomorrow. So long, everybody.
Leading sports television into the 21st century, this is